Alright guys, it's been a little while. As I'm sure everybody's familiar with, this year has been absolutely crazy. So apologies for the delays in videos, trying to get back on track now, and hopefully everybody else out there is doing alright as well. For those of you that are subscribed to me for the motorcycle content, this one is going to be a little bit different, but hang in there, skip it if you want, but let's get into it. We've got the WorkSharp Precision Adjust Knife Sharpener. Just barely came out. I just got it from Amazon today. So we will open it up and go through how it works real quick, and you can decide if it's something you want for yourself. So first things first, let's get it open. Comes in pretty nice packaging considering how cheap this thing is. Nothing else in there. Now this is a style of sharpener much like the Wicked Edge, and I think there's some other sharpeners that are this style. I don't know the terminology for it. I'm not a knife expert, I'm just some guy. But what I really like is that this thing supposedly will get you an amazing edge on your knife, and this was only $49 on Amazon, where the Wicked Edge, I think, is well over $100. I don't know, I've never looked into it, but this seemed pretty cheap, so I wanted to try it out. So you've got the base, some instructions, which you probably should read for a knife sharpener. The main part of the unit, which I'm going to guess goes like this. And then there's a tab here on the back. Dang. And then you push down on it. That back tab locks down. If for whatever reason you want to take it apart again, you got to push down on that tab and lift up. But that is hard to do. Anyway, there's that. This is the actual clamp for the knife. I just want to get this piece of cardboard out of here, which goes in like that, and there's little magnets on the end of this, so there's no tabs or anything to push. It just clips in there magnetically. And last thing we've got is the stone holder itself with the rod. And there's nothing else in there. So I'm going to go read the instructions, make sure I have at least a basic understanding of how this works, and then we'll come back to it and go over real quick how to sharpen a knife. See you in a minute. Alright, I brought you in here a little bit closer so hopefully you can get a better view of what's going on. I grabbed this knife off of the shelf. It's nothing fancy, but I just want to see if we can put a decent edge on it. I'll give you kind of an idea of where the edge is at right now. It's not very sharp at all. It's tearing. It tears paper. It's not cutting the paper. So we'll see if we can get a little bit better edge on it. So first thing you do is pop this out of here and put your knife in this clamp, which is a little bit fiddly. You have to spread those teeth out and put it in here, and you want to get your blade parallel with this line here as best you can, taking into account the curvature. If you have a spear point like this, or if you have a Tonto blade, you might want to sharpen it in two sections where you do this edge and then re-angle it to do that edge. I don't have one of those knives with me right now, but we can check that out another time, I guess. So then once you have it clamped in there, I'm just pinching it together with my fingers right now, but there's a screw right here, and you want to tighten that down. And now the knife is held in there. And put it back in the holder. And that's held there. Then on your sharpening stone, which I wouldn't call this stone, it's metal with some sort of grit on it. You can flip it to the 3 different sides. So the roughest one you've got is 320 grit. That would be for reshaping a really damaged blade. We probably won't need to use that on this blade. We'll try 600 first. Then 600 is more refining the edge. And then this white one, this is a ceramic hone to really get, once you've got a burr established from the other 2 grits, then this will knock the burr off and give you that razor sharp edge. So we're going to flip it back to 600, and it's just on detents. See how it kind of locks into place there? So now we're on 600, and you take this rod, and it has this piece here on the end that goes up inside of here, and it's held in place with a magnet. See how it locks in there? And then the second to last step you got to take before you're ready to sharpen is to set your angle, which is adjusted with this knob here. And what you're doing, I'll turn this sideways, you're adjusting the angle that the stone is on in relation to the blade, your cutting edge on your blade. And so if you don't know the exact angle, what you can do, and this is what I just did off camera, you just look in here, look at the relationship between the stone and the angle on your cutting edge, and then adjust this screw up and down until you get it where you like it. There are numbers on here, indicators, get that a little bit closer, that tell you 30 degrees, 25 degrees, 20, and 15 degrees. It seemed to me for this knife like I'm right around 25 degrees. I'm sure other knives are going to be different. And then last step before you're ready to start sharpening is these stoppers. Let's take this out of here so you can see it. These black stoppers, they can slide up and down this rod, and that adjusts the stopping point for the stone, because you don't want to accidentally run your stone off of the edge of your knife. So this one down here is stopping me from going down too far that way, and then this one keeps you from going too far up. But you want them as far apart as possible while still maintaining contact. So this one here could probably go down a little bit further, because if you have them really close together, you'll just be doing a little bit of work with each stroke. So you want to use the whole stone with each stroke, or as much of it as you possibly can. So get that one down a little bit better. All right, so those are good. And then once you've got everything set up with your stop points and you've got your angle set, you're ready to start sharpening. And I'm gonna try and do this off camera because this is a very awkward angle on camera. And we'll come back to it in just a minute and we will check out the results. Alright, and we're back after about 10 minutes of sharpening work. Again, I don't claim to be any sort of a master knife sharpener, so I'm sure my technique could be improved. And also, this knife isn't the most amazing knife in the world, but it sure seems like this edge is a lot sharper. And let's take it out of there. I really like, I don't know if you could tell in the high-speed shots there, but I really like that there's this button on the back. You push this button in, and that lets you rotate the knife. So you don't have to take this out and flip it over each time. You just push the button on the back and flip the knife over when you go to either side. And I also like that you can get right to the very tip of the knife. I also have a Work Sharp, oh, I don't remember what it's called, but they're powered knife sharpener that's like a little mini belt sander. And it can be pretty difficult to get the very tip of a knife sharp. So that's kind of nice. Let's see if we made much of a difference. Yeah, it's a little bit sharper. It would probably be even better results if this was a good knife. This is just a crappy gas station knife. For 50 bucks, not a bad way to sharpen your knife. I would say I prefer this over the powered sharpener just because it's so much more precise. And it's a lot harder to mess up. With that powered one, if you're not really careful, you can wreck the edge on your knife pretty quick. So this is nice that your angle, once this is all set up correctly, your angle is locked in. You can't really mess it up. You're going slow because it's hand powered, so you're very unlikely to, overheat the tip of your knife or the cutting edge anywhere. And if you have enough skill, more skill than I do, I would imagine you could get even this crappy knife just razor sharp. So that's all for today. Just thought you guys might like to see that. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.